Yo, what's going on, gang? Listen, man, today I'm going to show you the best way to get better at Black Ops 6. This is going to be a little longer of a video, but I want to cover a bunch of things. As you can see, we already got Dark Matter. We got Dark Matter in 46 total playing hours, 48, something like that. So we got it done in about 2 days playtime. I was able to get through it quick. I know a lot of people are struggling with that. Upon that, we also have the release of Warzone, and we have Area 99 and the new Omni movement. I know things are very, very tricky right now, so I want to make this video. The first thing we need to do off the bat is go into our settings, man. Settings are obviously going to come down to preference, but I have a little bit of logic behind why I run certain settings. So I want to go through these and make sure that everyone's kind of on board here, so they can get an idea of what's going to work best for them. Okay, so we want to start with controller. That's going to be the first setting layout. I play on a SCUF. I have a SCUF controller. It's a PlayStation 4 controller, but I also have a SCUF Xbox controller as well. I play Xbox and PlayStation controllers, PS4, PS5, Xbox One. So I have a bunch of different controllers I switch through, but most of the time I'm rocking a PS4 controller. So I use tactical flipped. This setting will not say flipped for you. It will only say tactical. So what you need to do, switch this setting to tactical. What tactical is, you're going to slide and dive with your right stick, and you're going to melee and punch with B and or circle. Why you want to do that? You never have to take your thumb off the joystick to slide or jump or whatever it may be. You never have to do that, which is incredible. Because you want to be able to aim while you're diving with the new Omni movement. And this is a way to effectively do that without having to take your thumb off the joystick. Our horizontal and vertical stick sensitivity, I play at a 6.6. I think this is the perfect balance for sensitivity. Obviously, if you want to play a super fast sensitivity, that's fine. Do you? You're going to get the most stability with your guns with a lower sensitivity. Now people are going to see this and go, well, how can you turn on people? If you want to check the channel and go do a deep dive, I dropped more 40 plus kill games on Rebirth Island running a 6.6 than most content creators I've played with. I feel like being too slow isn't a real thing. I always explain it on the channel like this when I talk about a topic like this. If you're aiming at this target and this is you, you know, this is the target. If you're aiming at someone, you have to turn on them. If you're too fast, if your sensitivity's too high, when you whip around, you're not going to be aiming at them. You're going to be aiming over here, and then you'll have to correct yourself back to here. If you have a slower sensitivity, you're going to stop on target rather than wasting time trying to drag back to the target. What if you overlook the target and he runs the other way? Now you're way out of the picture, your camera's broken, you're getting fried. I would only go up to a 7.7. I wouldn't go much higher until you're comfortable and need to go up. Like if you feel like you truly do, I would from there. But starting off, if you're like, okay, I'm pretty cheeks at this game, I want to get better, you need to rock a 6.6. I swap L1, R1 with L2, R2. I shoot with my bumpers just because I don't want to deal with the trigger pull. I think it's a little more comfortable. I have big hands. It's more comfortable for me to hold the controller like this rather than bring my fingers down, and I'm not, this is weird, I'm not going to do all that. So I'm going to definitely shoot with these. You don't have to do that. That's a preference thing. That really doesn't matter when it comes to skill, but that's why my button layout says tactical flipped, because I have flipped my triggers. Controller vibration off. This is a weird setting. I've always turned vibration off. I started doing it in Black Ops 1, which I want to say was 15 years ago. It was really hard to get used to it when I first did it, but I want nothing that can hinder my shot. If I'm spraying an LMG and my controller's vibrating like crazy, you think I'm going to have an easy time controlling my recoil? No chance. Turn controller vibration off. It will feel very weird, but it'll make you more alert. You won't feel when you get hit, but you'll have to focus on the game harder, so when you do get hit, you're not relying on your hands to tell you, you're relying on your eyes. You're looking for it. You need to see it, which in tune will help you know faster where you're getting hit from, rather than your controller starts vibrating and you're looking all over. You're looking for the indication on the screen when vibration's turned off. So make sure you turn that off. Dead zones. Basically, you want to change your left stick minimum and your right stick minimum as low as you can without getting stick drift. So what you want to do is turn on this tester, and you can see these numbers. I'm going to use the mouse for a second. These numbers at the bottom that I'm circling on the left and right. If I move my joystick slightly to the left, you'll see the number goes up. Well, if I have stick drift, let's see if I can kind of manipulate it to have stick drift. This is what stick drift may look like, or it may look like you're out here, you know, and it's kind of pulsing back and forth. You want to be at 0 plane. So the way you affect that is by turning this number down as low as you can without having that stick drift. This red ring I have right here is for activation for my sprint. That's on my left stick. I wanted the activation rather than being 99, I put it to 90. So what that does, my full sprint activates a little bit sooner than it would if I had to go all the way to the edge, which I personally enjoy. I don't want it to be too slow. With Omni movement, I'm trying to move as fast as possible, so I did move my left stick max to 90. Aiming sensitivity multiplier, all of this is going to be set to one times. This is not the big setting that everyone talks about. The big setting is going to be in here, so we're going to click into advanced aiming assist. This reset for me last night when I loaded up. I play dynamic aim response curve type. I think dynamic on mouse or on controller, it's definitely going to give you the best possible aim assist and rotational aim assist. When we hit show more, we want that response curve slope scale to be at 1.0. The next setting we want to do is right down below, custom sensitivity per zoom. Make sure you turn it on. And you want these top 2 settings, low zoom 2 to 3 times at 0.93. Now listen, if you're on a console, you can't do like precise numbers. You can do 0.95, but you can't do 0.93. 0.95 works great. Just make sure it's the lower half of the 90s rather than it being 1.0. What that does when you're using a red dot, iron sights, the 2 times or 3 times, when you ADS, it's going to be slightly slower for more control. And you think to yourself, well, if Omni movement and people are breaking cameras, why do you want it slower? By the time you're ADS'd on a target, they're locked in. You are locked because you have turned your sensitivity down, you have slowed your aim down, so now you can stay on target. So if they're going crazy left, right, remember, you know, this is your target. We're following them now rather than it's like this if your sensitivity's too high, especially when you aim down sights. So make sure we're slowing it down. Slow is fast, I'm telling you. We want to go next to movement. This is going to be crucial. This is a Black Ops 6 tactical nuke right here. Sprint assist, you want to turn tactical sprint on. Tactical sprint assist on. Sprint assist delay, make it sure it's 0. Sprint sideways and backwards is both turned on. What this does, when you move with your left stick, you do not have to click it in to make yourself sprint. The second you move your left stick, full sprint, no matter what direction. You do not have to worry about breaking your controller because you're spamming the left stick so much trying to sprint. It will automatically do it for you. I'm telling you this, you will notice how much faster you will play with this one setting turned on. We want to go down a little bit. I love the corner slice. This, if you don't know what that is, in Black Ops 6, if you round a corner, if you have corner slice on, you lean peek it. So if you're coming around that, you know, you lean left, right, I think it's incredible. It gives you a great angle, especially when you're trying to push a fight. So corner slice is definitely on. I got tap to slide. I don't like doing the slide only or dive only. The Omni movement dive is very fluid this year, so I'm doing tap to slide. I have to hold to dive, which I think is great. Slide dive activation delay, I have set to medium. If you set it too short, you're going to dive a ton on accident. You're going to accidentally dive. You do not want to do that. Medium's perfect. I think medium's a fine balance, but don't set that to short. If you set that short, like I said, you're going to dive all over the place. It's not going to be good. If we're talking Warzone here, so this is for all of Black Ops 6, so we need to talk about Warzone a little bit. Parachute automatic behavior. By default, this will say free fall. Just turn it off. What this does, your parachute will not auto deploy when you get close to a building. The reason you want that off, if you're, let's say you're flying in you want to land first floor of a building, but you're too close to the building, you're going to deploy way above the building. People are going to land on the roof, and as you're flying down, they're going to already have guns. They're going to be shooting you. You want to be able to get as low to the ground as you can before you pull your chute. So by the time you actually pull the chute, boots on ground, you're inside. You don't have to worry about floating down real slow. It's a very quick thing, so make sure you turn that off. Under advanced movement settings, I have sprint tac behavior to toggle. Tactical sprint activation, I have it set to single tap sprint. That doesn't matter because we have auto tac sprint on, but I do have that activated. Plunging underwater, it's set to trigger. I prefer free. I think free's a lot better. So you can look down and move forward to go underwater rather than sprint and look down to plunge underwater. I think the free look is a whole lot better. So if you're getting lit and you're trying to run from somebody, they're absolutely thraxing you. You don't want to have to worry about spamming buttons to make your character go underwater. Just put it to free. Sprinting door bash, we're going to put that on. We want to make sure that's on, so if we run into a door, it's going to pop that thing right open. I don't think there's any super crucial settings in here. Armor plate behavior, I do apply all. Because you can always cancel the animation by doing triangle, triangle, or YY. You know, swap your weapons, it'll cancel the plate animation. But you don't want to sit there and have to hold, you know, triangle or Y to put plates in, because if you're doing that, how are you aiming? You know, I do have paddles in the back, but they're not for applying plates. I got jump and melee for my paddles. So apply all is huge. You can always cancel it. So make sure you have that on. One thing I noticed, sprint cancels reload was automatically on this season. This is going to be under combat advanced settings. Go down to sprint cancels reload and turn that off. So when you go to move and you're reloading, you can finish your reload animation before you go. Obviously, if you're like reloading, you still need to sprint, you're getting lit, you can YY. The YY cancels any animation. You YY, you get out of the animation, you can run. But you want to be able to reload, because I'm telling you, the first game we dropped in on Area 99, we got a big dub. We got 27 and a win. The problem I faced myself when I'm frying out, I probably could have had 30 plus kills. Every time I go to reload and there was a confrontation to my side, I go to run to it real quick, it canceled the animation. So I genuinely had to sit still because of auto tac sprint to reload. So make sure sprint cancels reload is turned off. Depleted ammo weapon switch on. If your primary runs out of ammo, you'll immediately switch to your next weapon. That's incredible. So if you're fighting somebody, you're like, oh god, no, you run out of bullets, it automatically switches. You're using the next gun. You don't have to think about it. You're just gonna go ahead and use it. If you're on PC, I'm just gonna state this. Put all your graphics settings to low. You want everything set to low on your quality. It does not matter, and I'm telling you, 90% of pros, we run low settings. In my opinion, I feel like it makes COD look like COD. I don't want this game to look like, oh, look at the ray tracing and the reflections. I want to play absolutely the best frames I can get, so everything graphics-wise for me on quality is low. The next major setting to help you get better fast in Black Ops 6 is going to be field of view. 120 FOV is what I recommend. I know some people play 110, 111, 115. 120 will give you the absolute least amount of visual recoil. It makes your sights smaller when you aim, only if you have affected turned on. If independent is selected, switch it to affected. So 120, you see a whole lot more, and you can actually see a reference to it right here behind my cam. So by default, you see about 80, maybe 90. So this is what you would see on your screen. This little box where my mouse is what you would see normally, okay? At 120, you can see all of this entire picture at one time. So you're not getting shot from the left and right so much because you can see everything now. It also makes you feel like you're running a lot faster, which in my opinion is awesome because it helps you get out of the mix. It's a mental thing. So affected FOV at 120, I always set my gun to wide because that makes the gun even smaller. The smaller that crosshair is, the less visual recoil you will have. It'll make your gun feel like it has no recoil, which in theory, you'll hit more shots. Go down to first person camera movement and make sure you set this to least. Default's 100%. what this does when grenades go off or explosions, counter, precision airstrikes, whatever, when everything's going off, your screen's shaking like crazy. You set it to least, your screen's not shaking that much. So when crap is hitting the fan and you need to fry out and there's bombs going off like crazy, you can still get the job done without your screen absolutely shaking all over the place. For my audio settings, I do use enhanced headphone mode. In my opinion, I think it's a lot better, the spatial audio. For my audio mix, I have it on Treyarch mix. In my opinion, I think that's been the best audio so far. I do have Astro 50, so I have a mix amp with a custom profile I use for Call of Duty. If I were to just have any headphones, Turtle Beaches, Cloud9s, HyperX, whatever it may be, I would absolutely still use all these same settings up top. Down below, we have reduced tinnitus sound. This is turned on. What this does, if we get hit with a flashbang, it's not making our ears ring. So we can still hear, even though we can't see, we can hear. With that being said, with these audio settings, you might be able to take them down. Based on hearing them, you'll know exactly where they are. If you have a solid headset, you'll be able to zap people while you're flashed. So that's a huge thing to make sure you change as well. Let's go ahead and check out interface. Interface this year is super unique because of the gameplay HUD. You have HUD bounds. Every year you get a game, you're like, oh man, HUD bounds, and you always do this. You always spread it out and you make it all the way to the edge of the screen. No shot, bro. Bring it as far in as you possibly can, okay? Once we bring it all the way in, everything, our mini-map, kill streaks, plates, ammo, will be brought in closer so we don't have to move our eyes so far across the screen. We can keep looking at our target, and on our peripheral, we still have a good idea of what's going on all around us. It's best to make sure that your HUD is pulled in as close as possible. Make sure your mini-map shape is square, not round. You can notice up here on the side, this is the same photo. This right here and over here is the same. You can see with the square, we see a whole lot more. We can't see any of this top section on here because you got to think it's a full square. So we're getting a whole new chunk here. We're getting a whole new chunk here, vice versa. All the corners of this circle are getting filled in. So we actually have a larger mini map. So make sure your mini-map is set to square. Make sure rotation is on. Crosshair, I'm not really messing with that. I know some people are talking about turning it on and just doing a dot. For me right now, I'm not changing any of that. I don't think there's any more settings. I think we're good on settings. If you just want to do a preset, mission interface is a great preset, by the way. I'm rocking standard, but mission preset, solid interface to just get you right. Get you going. The next thing we need to talk about, obviously, we're trying to improve at the game. We're like, okay, our settings are good. What can we do next? So we're going to pop into the firing range now. What we want to do, when you get in the firing range, on your controller, you're going to hit down on the D-pad, okay? You hit it once and this target in the middle is going to come down. Hit it again, and we get this blank piece of metal hanging down. This is what you call a recoil wall, okay? The point of this is to learn the recoil pattern of whatever gun you're using. And I know that doesn't make sense right now if you're newer to Call of Duty or maybe you're not the best, but this will absolutely change your game around. People will start thinking you run the Cronus like they do in my comment section when I'm absolutely frying out. So here's what we want to do. You want to aim at the bottom of the plate. You want to take your thumb off of the joystick. We do not want to touch the joystick. We just want to spray the entire mag. So we aim at the bottom center and we spray. So with this build I have, this is the recoil pattern we see right here. It goes up and to the left, and then it goes kind of almost sideways to the right. It's like a little L shape. So to make this gun have no recoil, we want to do this pattern in reverse. So we're going to go down to the right, down to the left, just like that. Down to the right, down to left. If we're going up left, up right, it's down right, down left. It's the opposite of this pattern. So now if we try that, we get these tighter spreads. And you work on it. You sit here and you practice. And you notice, okay, first spray wasn't as tight. Look how tight this gets. So now you hit the down on the D-pad again. Now you got to fry out. And you're absolutely deleting targets because you just eliminated the recoil pattern of this firearm in particular, which is awesome. Oh, I guess that's still bugged out. Because most people don't know how to control recoil in Call of Duty, man, and you have to be able to control recoil. You got to be able to fry out at range. Another thing a lot of people don't know that you can do in firing range as well, if you hit start, you can go to target settings and you can have them have 3 armor plates. So now what we're doing is we're mimicking Warzone. So you'll see the armor plates break and then you get the kill and you can kind of move on from there. I think this is a more realistic approach to Warzone because targets aren't going to die as fast. So you're going to get further into the recoil pattern because you're having to shoot more bullets to kill. So make sure you're practicing with armor plates on. I would do armor plates even if you're a multiplayer guy, even if you play multiplayer, because you're learning these recoil patterns. So you're sitting here shooting, you're like, okay, they're dying. You go back, you put them to no plates. Now you go to shoot and you're like, oh, that guy died instantly and I didn't miss a single shot on him. So that's what you really want to focus on, is learning recoil patterns for any gun you're rocking, man. It literally, it could be any single one of these guns. You want to go through, and same thing, you aim at the bottom and just shoot. So this one almost took the entire recoil wall, but we don't have to worry about down, left, down, right. This one's just one motion. It's down, right. So we literally just pull it, and we can hold that joystick in place. You can see I was even pulling the recoil down there because it's not that bad at all. So now we aim at targets and we're absolutely frying them out at range because we have a generalized idea of what our recoil is going to do. This is what I call the unspoken rule, okay? This is the unspoken rule. When you aim at a target and you're shooting, you always want to strafe left to right. As I'm aiming and shooting, I'm going left to right. That eliminates a lot of horizontal recoil. But one thing it does is it shows how rotational aim assist works. If you are a mouse and keyboard player, you're at this point in the video. I have 10,000 hours on Rust. I have 6,400 hours in Counter-Strike. I have been global elite in Counter-Strike. That is obviously mouse and keyboard. Aim assist is the only thing that balances out mouse and keyboard in Call of Duty with controller players. There's a reason they do not allow mouse and keyboard in the professional scene, because it is too much of an unfair advantage, because everybody and their mother knows how to aim a mouse. You hand a controller to most people in this country, they are not going to be in this world. They're not going to be able to aim like they would on a mouse naturally. So that ends that debate. Rotational aim assist. I'm not going to touch my right stick at all. I'm just going to move left to right here, okay? As I move, you're going to notice my character is hugging this person down. I'm not rotating at him. I'm not looking at him, but you'll notice the screen's naturally revolving around this person. The target's here and my character's naturally doing this. He's not going like this. He's naturally rotating that target. That's what you call rotational aim assist. So if I do it in quick bursts and I'm aiming, it's going to keep me locked onto my target. So when I spray, I'm not worried about missing crazy shots because I'm absolutely dialed in on my target. Gang, you follow all of these steps. I'm telling you right now, you will become a better Black Ops 6 player before you know it. The last tip I have for you, it's an app, okay? It is a singular app. It's called COD. This is what the app interface actually looks like right here. The app itself, let's see if I can get that pulled up for you. The app itself is going to be that little green guy right there. That is called COD, like community, but COD. It has the best loadouts for multiplayer, ranked play, Warzone ranked, Warzone Resurgence, big map Warzone. You go on there, updates every single day. They get data from True Game Data, from JGod, from content creators like myself, to give you the best possible classes so you can have these guns that are already low recoil With everything you just learned, you're a demon now. Gang, listen, if you are new to this channel and you watched all the way to this point, man, hit that sub button, crush the like button. I hope you get better. If you have any questions down below, comment any question, and I will absolutely, if I can't make a video on it, I'll explain it to you. Regardless, we will get it handled. If there's something you feel like I didn't cover that you are struggling with, let me know down below and we will get it taken care of, because we got to be the best. The Greasy Gang has to be the best community on COD. We got to be a bunch of shredders. So make sure you're down below taking all this in. You're hopping in the firing range. You're getting your settings right. You're hopping into matches and you're ripping, okay? We got our aim. We got our audio now. We got our graphics right. We got our guns right. We know recoil now. We know how aim assist works. No excuses. There are no more excuses. Go fry. Look, I'll catch you tomorrow for another heater. Let's get it, gang.